How are you? Other coaches, they're not gonna tell you about that. But you know, it's part of business. You may not make it the first time, but heck, get back up and go again. That's what we did.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the get back up and go again. That's why we're documenting everything. Like I was saying before we got the recording started here, I have not seen any personal development, help book, business book, coaching program. I've never seen one that actually started from the ground floor and actually showed every single step along the way. A lot of these guys will tell you how they got success after the fact, but they never showed you every single step along the way. And that's what we're trying to document here. So with that, as we move forward here, this is going to be part two. Last week was part one, where pick your vision. This is, I am a locksmith, Jason is a locksmith, and we can show a lot of people how to open up that business, but it counts for more than that. You can use this footprint and this building block setup here for almost any business. This is universal. It's going to go into just about anything. You're going to have to follow these same core steps no matter what you want to do, whether you're starting another business outside of your locksmithing business. I mean, Jason, how many businesses do you own and operate right now?
Oh man, I stopped counting. About seven.
Right.
And that's the important thing too, is you don't have to be just a locksmith. I'm using my locksmith money to fund all these other businesses. It helped me open up a social media company. It helped me open up a CBD company. It helped us invest in rental property. It's just amazing what you could do once you get your first business started. Just take that money and fund other things that you love doing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And then what does every single business book, recommendations, workshop, seminar tell you about income and revenue streams? Having one is not enough ever.
Right.
Never have all your eggs in one basket. You have to have multiple streams of income coming in. Okay, when this one dries up, we all know that we're headed for a recession at some point in time. The economy cannot maintain what it's been doing right now. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be slowdowns. Are you going to be prepared for that? Is your business going to survive that? And if one business doesn't survive, do you have another one that can? Just because in boom times, one business is going to be doing great. In slow times, another one might be doing great. I mean, locksmithing is a perfect example of that. We're fairly recession resistant. I mean, short of the two ultimatums of death and taxes, those are the two things that always happen no matter what. Right up in there, right behind those two comes security. People will pay for security in good times and in bad.
Yep.
So, all righty. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get started. This is the part two series. We're going to show you how to file your business with the Secretary of State. Like I said, last time we talked about vision. We talked about getting what kind of business you want to have, remaining passionate about it, and making sure that it means something to you. Don't start a business to supplement a paycheck. You're going to be just as miserable as you were with your job. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So myself, Wayne Winton, I've taken the Robbins Madonis coaching program, 2 years in personal development, 10 years as a business owner. I've taken a locksmith business that was making less than $100,000 a year, and we're probably projected to do well over $500,000 this year. So obviously some of the things that we're doing do work. I've seen businesses grow faster. Obviously you hear about those cases, but for one guy who came from absolutely nothing, pretty much sleeping in his truck at some point, and practically homeless, to running a $500,000 a year company, and even better than that this year, I've taken my bumps and lumps along the way, and I'm here to give you the tips so you don't have to bump your head along the way quite as hard as I did and leave quite so many knots up there. Jason, your turn.
Well, my numbers are just about where yours are. Now, I wasn't ever homeless or anything like that. But I started out as a firefighter. I wasn't making any money doing that. Had to do something else. Started working in the locksmith business with my dad as I kind of grew up in the business. Uh, he was kind of just running it into the ground. His best year ever was about $80,000 in sales. Uh, Finally something had to change. So I asked him if he wanted to sell the business, and I ended up making him a great offer. I overpaid for the business. Uh, got got really, for lack of better technical terms, screwed when I bought it from him. He basically stole a lot of the inventory in one of the vans, and oh, it was just a major nightmare. But we rose past all that, and now we're probably going to do about 500,000 this year, uh, which is kind of neat considering I hadn't worked in over 13 weeks. I've had rotator cuff surgery, and come to find out, I'm going to have the other shoulder done next. So I probably won't work again until, I don't know, January, February next year. And because the way we built a business, I've got people working for me, and I'm able to take that time off. It really, makes me look at things a whole lot different. And, I'm really blessed, and I want to make sure that other people that are in this position, you know, get to have time off if they need it. So many people starting businesses and stuff, they don't have the proper coaching and don't know how to set up a business where if you need time off, you can take it. So that's kind of the thing that I hope that we're gonna help y'all with.
How many people here, can you guys put it in the chat box, please? How many people here could survive not running their business 100% every single day? How many people could step out of their business for a month and it would survive? I don't even think I'm at that point yet. I'm still way too involved. I'm getting to that point. We do have two techs running around now. Hannah is amazing. She's my operations manager. She's actually in this meeting as well. And I'm building a team to where we can get to that point. But I still don't think I could walk away right now and have everything run absolutely perfect and smooth. We're still pretty lean and pretty mean, but we're working towards that point because I know I'm going to have that event, that life event that takes me out for a day, a week, a month, 6 months, a year. We don't know. Could be personal struggles, could be physical, could be, I hope none of this stuff happens, but I would rather be much more prepared than to have it just fall in my lap. So.
Well, and that kind of gets back to what you were talking about the multiple streams of revenue. You know, I'm in a position now where our real estate, some of the investments, because of zoning and stuff like that, they're not going to work the way I thought they were when I bought them.
Mhm.
So if it wasn't for the locksmithing money, I'd be broke. I'd really be worried. But having multiple streams, that's definitely going to help people out.
Yeah, definitely. So you can take these building blocks, and what I'm really focusing on right now is working on my business, not in my business. When I'm trapped inside my business, I can't do the top 5% things that need to be done to help us expand and get more employees, get more techs, get more trucks, and basically, take over the area. When I'm out, building new client bases and just out there putting boots on the ground, getting new customers. I mean, I've got ideas right now where I'm just going to start going around and filling out door health surveys. It's not a fire door inspection, but hey, you know what? Your door doesn't have push-pull signage. So there's a perfect opportunity to put a sticker on the door with my phone number there. So when they do have a problem, they know who to call. Let's look at your door closer. Why is that door slamming? Did you know that door slamming could lead you to a lawsuit? Things like that. So those are just some of the things where I'm trying to step outside and work on the business, not quite so much in it. So let's see here. Moving on. Last week we covered startup. Choose what you are passionate about. Make sure that you talk to your attorney and CPA and see what kind of business is best for you. LLC, LLP, corporate, S corp, partnership. Whatever one of those is going to be best for you, depending on your needs and how many people are going to be involved in your business, that's what you need to be asking them about. Those are the first two people you need, an attorney and a CPA. Tell me I'm wrong, Jason.
Oh, you're absolutely right. The CPA is huge. The major part about making money is keeping some of it, and the CPA will help you with that.
Right. And we went over that last time that, I didn't pay, like, I think we pay my CPA like $500 or $600 a month. Of course, it's more during tax season, but I would say we probably pay them a good $6,000-7,000 a year, maybe more. I don't pay my CPA anything. They saved me $80,000 in taxes and all the different things that they know about to make sure that they save me money. Okay, that's how I look at it. I never look at it as an expense. Attorneys the same way. Now you can obviously go overboard if you bug your attorney about every tiny little thing, but if you just bring those big bullet points to them so that you have structure to build off of, you're going to be fine.
Well, another thing is don't just rely on them. Do your homework yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Way back when my dad owned the business, he used to buy the Chevy Astro vans. Well, he would write them off over, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something like that. And it really, really didn't help him a lot. Well, I got to looking at the tax code, and I found if I buy a bigger van and have a divider between the cab and the back of the van, then it would qualify for a Title 179, which is allowing me to take off the full deduction the first year. But little things like having the divider in there, a lot of us, as locksmiths, we don't know that. Some of these guys go out and buy a van without the divider. Well, just something as small as having a divider between the front and the back of the van will help you get a better deduction.
Absolutely.
So, and your CPA probably may not know all of that. So, that's where it really helps you to actually look up stuff like that on your own and bring it to your CPA's attention and say, hey, look, I found this. Will this work in my situation?
Now, obviously, that's in your state, so make sure that everybody check your own local state guidelines and stuff. But there's a good point right there, just the type of vehicle that you use, whether you can classify it as commercial or not. I know some guys that won't buy F-350 pickups because they have to put CDOT numbers on them or DOT numbers on them, right? So they'll go with the 250 that can pull and do just about everything as much. It just doesn't have the weight rating. Well, here in Colorado, obviously I like to have the heavier duty trucks. So, I buy every single one of my trucks is a diesel F-350, So that's good. That's a good piece of information right there. People should be writing that down and check your local tax laws for that. And maybe consider that next time you buy a vehicle. We talked about making a business plan. When you start making a business plan, you start making it real. So we structured all that. If you have not seen last month's episode of Community Coaching Workshop, go ahead and check that out. I'll make sure that we post the link in the group. So we'll have a link to the group, we'll have a QR code to the group, and we'll have all that stuff in here for you guys so that you can stay up to speed. Then we talked about seeking startup funding, how to start a GoFundMe account, friends and family, savings, home mortgage. I really don't recommend going into debt, trying to start your business. But if it's your dream and your passion, and that's what you have to do to make it happen, and you can make it happen, that may be an avenue you want to pursue. Most importantly, start taking massive action. That's the biggest thing. And today, we can go ahead and really start taking some action, and we can start making it real. So after you know what kind of business you want to start, and you were seeking the advice from your attorney and your CPA, you can officially start filing paperwork to register your business. Now, I actually have my CPA file a lot of stuff. Hannah, actually, my operations manager, filed the Secretary of State for Business, CCW, for this community coaching workshop business. And I think she was able to file it for like $1, right? So Don't ever count
Right.
that out. This isn't a huge expense. This is just one of those things along the way. Do you have anything to add about filing and registering? It's going to be your tax ID number, and that's how you're going to be paying your taxes. So this is a huge important step. Don't skip this one.
Yeah. Just don't commingle the money. That's a big
Right.
thing too.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And last time you were on, Jason, we had talked about cruise ships and things like that, and using those points. I actually spoke to my CPA about that, and she said the best thing to do would be to put any of those expenses, if you're trying to get cruise miles or airline miles or points or anything like that, use it on a personal credit card and then
Right.
reimburse yourself through the company. That's going to be the best way that you can prevent piercing the veil on that
Right.
one. And for anybody that didn't hear Jason's explanation of piercing the veil, basically what that means is you are setting up an LLC. That LLC is a limited liability company. Okay. That company is your shell or protection. So if let's say somebody sues me or sues my company, my locksmith business, they're not going to be able to take my house, my car, and all my personal assets and investments. Once you start commingling money, that's when you pierce the veil, and that's when things get ugly very, very quickly. You lose all of the protection in that. So don't cross-contaminate money like that.
Yep.
When I first typed in, how to start up a business with the Secretary of State, these ads are going to come up, and what Jason talked about making mistakes. This is the first one I made. I paid $375 to register a business at one point in time because I fell for this LegalZoom ad, and they charged $375. Really, I could have gone right directly to the Colorado Secretary of State website and did what Hannah did and file everything for a dollar. So
Wow.
she just saved me, and again, relying on professionals, she just saved me $374 just because she knew how to do that stuff. So this is the great thing about delegating things and letting people shine. Bring people onto your team, but let them shine and let them don't micromanage. Bring quality people to your team and let them do their thing. This is what it would look like over here. So filing that with the Secretary of State. Do you have any other comments to add about filing with Secretary of State?
Well, the thing here in Tennessee now, I don't know if your states are the same, but a lot of times the different departments don't communicate well. Like the Secretary of State here in Tennessee, I dissolved one of the businesses that I had, and they didn't communicate that with the Department of Revenue. So although the business was shut down, the Department of Revenue showed it being open. So I ended up having to pay more taxes because they showed it was open when it was actually closed. So, you need to make sure that you know who you're dealing with and that they're dealing with the other departments as well.
Okay. Yeah. So somebody asked if we need, sorry, my typing's horrible this morning. Need to know if we set up for different people, but do you recommend an LLC or an S Corp? That's again going to be a question for your attorney and your CPA, in my opinion. I think personally with the locksmith business, I think we're set up as an LLC. It's Aspen Locksmith LLC. DBA, Tri-County Locksmith Service, and then I think I think my CPA files me as a sole proprietorship for tax purposes. Does that sound somewhat familiar to you, Jason?
Yes.
Is that how you do it too?
No, mine is actually right now the locksmith business is just a sole proprietor. It's
Gotcha.
something that we wanted to make sure that the other corporation that I shut down was totally gone before we did anything like that with this one. We're probably the first of next year going to roll this one into LLC.
Okay. Yeah. And these are all things that you can go back and you can start up a separate LLC. Like if you stumbled along the way and you didn't set it up the way you wanted to, you can go back, set up a new company, set up a new business, file it the way you want to, dissolve the old one, and then file the new one. A lot of times people ask me, how does a business buy another business and take over that name? Well, when we bought Tri-County Locksmith, they dissolved the account with the Secretary of State, the original owner, and then immediately thereafter, the attorney filed the paperwork to reinstate it. So we're not part of the old owner's tax ID number or anything like that. It's all completely separate and independent. You never want to get tangled up with that. You want to make sure that you have things set up for your name and your name only. So here's how we set up Community Coach Workshop LLC right here. We're in good standing. We have an ID number. We set this up in September. Foundation date was 9/2/22. It's a limited liability company or an LLC. Its jurisdiction is in Colorado. It's got my name and address and my company information on here. You could also have another company. If you don't want to put your personal name and address in here, you can have your CPA, or you can have another person. You can have a professional or an attorney file the paperwork for you, so you don't put your name and address and stuff in here. Some people are pretty concerned about that. All right. So now let's move to setting up a bank account or credit union. So the first thing you need to do is you need to file with the Secretary of State. This is going to get you your tax ID number or your EIN number. That's what it is in Colorado. And again, this is not legal advice. It's not financial advice. I'm just telling you and showing you the steps that it took me to get where I am now. Okay. All right, so signing up for bank account or credit union. Credit unions, if you need a loan, I would set up with a local credit union. They're going to be more willing and loosen the purse strings a little bit for you. So you can probably apply for a loan a whole lot easier through a credit union than the bank. For me, it was more ease of banking. I wanted to bank with a national banker, and then my mentor used US Bank. So that's just what I ended up using as well. And I can move money around in there. I keep all my accounts in there, my personal, my business accounts, everything. It works really good. Okay. So I'm not telling you to use any particular bank. We just started up with US Bank. What do you have to add to banking, Jason?
Well, we actually use a small hometown bank. I love the real personal feel, and it's great when you go in there and everybody knows you by your name and all that. And we have multiple accounts there and everything, but it's just, I don't know. I feel better there.
That's good. That's good. So
the other, go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was just saying that's just two different ways to go about it. I do have a separate account with a local bank as well. That's kind of my reserve account for emergencies for the company. So I do utilize both the national big chain banks and a local bank as well.
The one thing that I don't know, I guess I see a lot of people not doing this is applying for credit. When you need it, that's not the time to apply for credit.
No,
because as a lot of people are saying, we're possibly heading towards maybe a depression or something like that. You don't want to wait until times get bad to apply for credit. Because if you don't get it, it can bankrupt you.
Yep.
If you end up needing credit and can't get it, then you're in a bad place. I've seen several locksmiths lose everything because they had a minor emergency, like having to replace a transmission in their van or something like that, and they simply didn't have the credit or the cash on hand to fix that. And it was devastating for them. So that's one thing. Just try to apply for credit whether you need it or not, just so when you do need it, it's there.
Absolutely. I just had $8,000 worth of work done on one of my vehicles, and I just got another $3,000 or $4,000 bill. This is $10,000-$11,000 in 1 month. Okay.
Yep.
Most small one-man show locksmith businesses can't survive that. Okay. So making sure that you have at least 5-10 grand in bank accounts is a good thing to do, or having the income to cover it. Luckily, like I said, we run pretty thin and lean and mean. We just do enough business to where we can absorb that as we go. It still hurts. Trust me, I feel the pain. I feel it, man. It's a sting, but it's not going to shut me down. It's not going to stop me, and that's more important than anything else. Setting up a PayPal account would be a good idea. I have a love-hate relationship with PayPal. This would be a good way to start building credit. But like I said, I had an absolutely miserable experience with them when they overcharged me like $60,000 for paying back the loan early, just completely hosed me. But we talked about that last time, I believe. So I'm not going to go into it all again. But this is where having those dual bank accounts, that's what saved my butt. The U.S. bank account was shut down. It was, they sucked every penny I had. And I had to operate out of a different account through the different bank. And because we had it set up, it was able to work. But
Yep.
PayPal's good for accepting money. It's convenient. Okay. It's great for shopping online. It's secure purchasing. Do you guys use PayPal, Jason?
Yes, we
Cool.
we use PayPal and also Square.
Yep.
Actually, that's something that I've really ran into a lot of problems with the CBD business. Nobody wants to take CBD money. So Square was about the only provider that I could find that would take money.
Yeah.
So you need to think of that when you're starting your business, what kind of business you're starting, and who will process your payments for you.
Right. And you can do invoicing and everything through PayPal. PayPal's kind of a one-stop shop, to be quite honest. It really, really is. You can actually run an entire business just with a PayPal account alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think you
Yep.
can use it as a bank account. You can spend money. You can get credit cards for it. I would really recommend looking into PayPal, and then Venmo too.
Yeah.
You got to stay with the times. I don't know why Venmo and PayPal can't like combine together to make one easy payment. I think they do own each other. They're related somehow with each other. But just being able to send somebody a QR code and get money for that, that's great for your locksmith or your mobile service businesses, because we have a company policy where I don't go out at night until I get paid. I charge up front. Well, if their keys and their wallet are locked in the car, I can send them a PayPal or a Venmo request, ask if they have that. If they have their phone, they can pay it. They can pay half or the full thing right then and there. I secure payment. Now I can go out, and go open that vehicle or whatever. Make paying convenient for your customer. That's the number one rule here. Do you use Venmo?
I don't use Venmo. Well, I think Ronica has a Venmo account. She's a little bit more technologically advanced than I am, but we haven't had a lot of clients ask for it. So, as far as the locksmithing, we don't do it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something we might. We've actually used some Ethereum. So the cryptocurrency. I think I sent you some of that some time ago, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to set up some different alternatives for people.
Yeah, and just keeping your ear out there. Once I had 5 customers request me to send me money Venmo, and they did not have PayPal accounts. That's when we set up the Venmo account, and now it's just part of it. And again, you can set up personal ones and business ones. You can set up ones for each one of your businesses as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing I found about Square, they do everything, man. You can actually with Square set up a website and sell from the website with Square.
Oh, nice.
So that's something else to think about. I don't know if your business is going to have online sales or anything like that, but they make it very affordable. I think it's like $20 a month, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about Square. Square, PayPal. I mean, just being familiar and at least educating yourself about these different payment methods is going to keep you ahead of your competition. If your competitor is, your competitors maybe like one of ours, there's a shop here that's like 80 years old, right? And they do paper handwritten invoices. They do they just do everything so old school that I've actually had clients tell me, they're just so Stone Age. I can't do business with them. I can't even pay them, for crying out loud, because I don't carry cash or check anymore, for crying out loud. So we've literally gotten business from other competitors simply because we embraced the new payment options and made it convenient for them. Paying should be the easiest part of this. Okay. I believe QuickBooks actually does a lot of what Square does, just through QuickBooks in-house.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we'll cover next here. So setting up tax information, a QuickBooks account, and there are others. I mean, there's TurboTax, there's QuickBooks. I'm sure if you did a quick Google search, there's a bunch of them. We went with QuickBooks just because that's what my CPA uses, and it's convenient. Now, again, I'm going to have another love-hate relationship with QuickBooks. Okay. I love to hate them. Pretty much. They can be extremely obnoxious to deal with. There's very little customer support, but the platform that they offer does everything that my business needs. I can capture a live signature. I can have my emergency service release of liability on there. I can capture that live signature in the field. I can add photos. So like our company policy is when we come up to a car or a lockout, we have the customer send the information. We take a picture of the license plate. We take a picture of their driver's license. We take a picture of their insurance or registration. And then we take a picture of the VIN number inside the door of the car. I need to put all that information back into there so that in the event, and it will happen one day, and it has happened to me, you'll open the wrong car for the wrong person, or somebody will be upset with something that you did, and you'll be able to go right back to it. You won't have to go through a million text messages, and you'll be able to say, look, here it is right here. Here's all the information. We did our due diligence. Everything that I do, I pretend that I've got to uphold my side of the story in court. If I'm on the other side of the courtroom and somebody is accusing me of letting somebody into their vehicle or stealing stuff from them or not authorized or divorce or parents kicking a kid out and having restraining orders on them. I mean, all of those things have actually physically happened to me. I don't know if I've told you guys or not, but I had one minor, a young lady, and she was like 17 or 18 years old, and she requested service to get into a home. I said, okay, not a problem. You got a photo ID. Photo ID had the home address right on it. You live here, you're in the picture, everything checks out, right? So I got pictures of all that stuff and I made notes on it. Well, 2 months later, daddy comes home, parents come home after being on vacation out of the country, and I get a very, very angry phone call. That angry phone call says, why did you let my daughter in here who stole 2 cars and did $30,000 worth of damage to our home, into our home? And I said, well, sir, I apologize for your inconvenience. However, we did do our due diligence, and here's the paperwork, and here's the invoice, and here's the pictures. Here's where we got a photo ID. Here's when she called, what time, what was said. Here's what she text messaged me. These are all the pieces of information that I said, okay, well, here's this. I submitted a statement to my attorney, and we turned that over to the local police department, and that was it. I never heard from it again. Do you know why I didn't end up in court? Because I covered my assets, right? Have you ever had anything like that? Anything weird or sketchy go on?
Man, a day in the life of me. Yeah, I actually had a guy that he was fighting with his baby's mama. He was living with her, had all his stuff in the house. Before I opened the house, I told him, I need your ID. I need, also a couple pieces of mail, that shows your address there. And he's like, okay, yeah, I could give you that. He said, now my ID doesn't show this house because I've actually got another house in Nashville. He said, but I could show you my mail, and I could show you a court order of protection where the Sumner County Court has ordered, the police to protect him in this house. So he actually went and filed an order of protection against the baby's mama. And, everything looked legit. It showed that, that was his residence.
Right.
He's got a court document saying that he's to be protected there. Well, come to find out, he lied to the court. I let him in the house, and rekeyed some locks for him and everything. And heck, as I'm driving home, I get a call from this lady that was hysterical. And she's like, you let this guy in my house and all of this. And I'm like, hey, hold on a second here. I'm like, he showed me this, this, and this. I'm like, let me just call the police and I'll have one of the police officers call you back. So I called and talked to the sergeant at the police department. And he's like, dude, he's like, I know that you always cover your bases. He said, Jason, I know you get more information than any of the other guys. He said, but this time, no, it's not his house. He
Jesus.
said, we were out there on a domestic, a couple nights ago. So long story short, I went back and rekeyed the house for the lady that night. And the police, they went ahead and arrested him the next morning. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy the stuff people will do.
But if you didn't cover your tail doing
Yep.
that, you would have been
Yep.
in some serious trouble. You at least
Right.
showed that you did due diligence. You showed
Oh,
that,
yeah.
hey, this guy forged paperwork or whatever he did, he lied. Okay. And I can
Yep.
prove based off the information he lied to the state and he lied to me and he lied to everybody else here. And here's the proof. If you don't have
Yep.
that little bit of proof, it's going to make you look really, really bad. All it takes
yeah.
these days is one hashtag, one post, one person really gets motivated to cancel you and
Yeah.
and ruin your online reputation, and that's all it takes, and you're done. Your goose
Yeah.
is cooked. Everybody wants a witch hunt. There's a
Mhm.
million people ready to jump on that bandwagon. So that's why QuickBooks works for me. Sorry, we're getting a little off topic here, but I want to give you real life examples as to why it's important to have the features that QuickBooks has. I'm sure Square probably almost does all of the exact same stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can do invoicing and billing, and you can add pictures and things like that, Jason.
I don't know about adding pictures.
Okay.
You might be able to. I personally don't know though.
Okay.
But I know you can do invoicing and all of that with it and
Okay.
inventory.
All right. So there again, that's why we landed back with QuickBooks. I hope they either get their customer service fixed or some other service comes along that's just as affordable and does everything. But for right now, QuickBooks is it. I have to have QuickBooks to integrate with my CPA. So that's where we're stuck with. Here we started this one for the CCW Community Coaching Workshop. Again, I'm showing you guys every single step along the way. If this business takes off, I have, licensing plans and all kinds of stuff for this coaching thing. I think this thing can help millions of people, and we're just starting out here. So this is the building blocks, and you guys get to watch every step along the way as I build this, and as Jason and Hannah and I build this thing. We're all owners on this thing. So get your QuickBooks started. It's $15 a month for a super basic package. They'll ask you what your industry is. We're coaching services or consulting services. So you just fill out a quick couple of little questionnaires right here. See how payments work. $5 on us, show you how you can get paid through the invoicing system. You're going to need QuickBooks is my merchant services. So your bank is going to try and set you up with merchant services when you open up that account. I had the US Bank merchant services. I didn't like it that much. The QuickBooks one just works better because I'm right there. I send them an invoice. It fills out all my taxes. It keeps all my information all as one, and it sends it right to my CPA, and it keeps track of all my numbers. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Randy says you can add your logo. You can definitely add your logo. I did not get a copy or a printout of one of these yet, but you can definitely add your logo to your invoices. My locksmith ones are custom logo invoices as well. So you run that $5, it'll show you how you can get paid. You keep your receipts. Basically, you just take pictures of receipts and it'll keep track of everything. I just use a debit card. Everything on that debit card just goes towards company purchases. We have a fuel card for fuel, things like that. So it knows, the CPA will be able to decode everything based on where the charge is from. So then it'll say, is it an LLC? Yes, we're an LLC. You could also do sole proprietorship, non-corp or non-profit, S Corp, C Corp, or you're not sure. It's going to help walk you through. But notice how we're bringing you through the steps. I've already told you need to file with the Secretary of State. You already met with your attorney and your CPA. You already know the answer to this question, and that's why I'm bringing it to you in these little bite-sized pieces. So that when you get to this point, you just click, partnership, LLC, S Corp, whatever it is. Okay. Then it'll tie into your account. It'll have you tie your bank account into it. And that way you can deposit money back and forth. I believe QuickBooks even offers a credit card and their own kind of banking and financial services. So you literally don't I don't think you actually have to have a bank account to run a QuickBooks system. You can just use QuickBooks. I find it's a lot easier to have an actual bank account, because if QuickBooks goes down or they have a problem or they have a bug, then you can't operate your business. So I like to have multiple options between my local bank account, US bank account, PayPal account, Venmo account, other bank account. I've got 5 different ways to stay in business. So
Yep.
that's kind of why I use that. You have something to add to that, Jason?
No, you definitely covered that.
All right, cool. All right, so moving on, now you've got your business registered with the Secretary of State, you've got your tax ID number, you've got your QuickBooks set up, you've got your bank account set up. Now what do you need to do? Well, we need to register a domain name, okay? This would be the first thing that I would recommend doing. This is basically you purchasing your billboard online, if you will, so that you can have a homepage. Now, homepages are not as important as they used to be 5 years ago, but they're very, very important. Okay, you definitely want to have one. So all you do is type your name, your company name into Google search and see what it comes up with. Somebody may have your website and they may be selling it for $40,000. You might be able to buy it for $4. You don't know until you search it in there, or if somebody else has already owns it and actively uses it. You can also choose a name based on what you can afford and what meets your needs. So when we're looking for a community coaching workshop program, if that's taken and they want $30,000 for it, I'm not paying that. Okay. We don't have the funding for it. This is a startup business. There's a couple $100 in the account, and I'm showing people how to build $1 million business with almost no money. Okay. Remember that. We went back to a donation. $200 started this whole entire community coaching workshop business. $200, not from me either. Okay, so I'm showing you how to build $1 million business from the ground up with no investment from any of my other companies. Okay, so you just pick a name that works with, that provides your company, but it has a different .com. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
.com is definitely the most important. A lot of .nets and stuff like that. People aren't going to find that as easy. But I'd say just go ahead and buy them as well, just so your competitor doesn't get it. Another thing that you might want to consider is different spellings of your name.
Right.
I can't spell worth a darn. So, for people like me, I might miss, if I'm looking for you for Tri-County, I may misspell it. So, right. Think of that when you go to get your name. For a couple bucks extra, you could buy a few extra names. That's one of the things that we also did, is not only do we have Empire Lock and Alarm, we have Empire Lock and Safe. I also have domain names for each city that I'm in. So right. I have like White House Locksmith, Nashville Locksmith, Hendersonville Locksmith, all of those. You could really rack up a lot of money in domain names real quick. Last I checked, I've got about 150 of them myself. But that's something you can also sell them if at a later time you decide, oh, hey, I've got this name, bought it for my business, not really working out. Put it up for sale. Yeah. But yeah,
it's online real estate. It really is. Think of it as online real estate. Just as you would, maybe you bought a plot of land and nobody wants to move there for 30 years and build a house. But when they do, maybe you got a multi-million-dollar company that wants that .com name and they're willing to pay for it. And you might just have it. So communitycoachingworkshop.com. It shows get this domain. It's right here. It gives a couple other options as well. It says I can buy this for $4.99. Okay, that's done. I mean, that's easy. This is what I'm looking for. 5, 10, anything under $20, really under $100, I'm willing to go ahead and buy that to have the .com. So communitycoachworkshop.com, it's right here. Notice how we had coaching workshop. That one was more expensive. The community coach workshop right here, 2 different variations, major difference in price. Okay. So you could definitely buy up some of those other names. Really popular names are Locksmith Near Me, or, Locksmith In and the name of your town.com. Those are all going to be good pages that you can have as landing pages that just direct people towards your page.
Well, they're keyword associated names.
Correct.
So Google gives that a kind of higher ranking. So, if you're a locksmith, having locksmith in the domain name is better than lock and safe.
Right.
So like us, if I would have put Empire Locksmith, our website would probably rank higher than Empire Lock and Safe.
Right.
So little things like that really make a difference.
Right. And we're still at what, $20 if I buy the communitycoachworkshop.org.net. A $20 bill can stretch pretty far. $100 can stretch pretty far if you're willing to play with those names and pick up something that's not picked up yet. So then we'll go ahead and just choose a company logo. Now, Jason and I are still hammering this one out. We actually, here's some brainstorming from 2 people right in the middle of doing logos. Okay, this is our company and this is our business, and we're talking about what's going to be good. Now, I asked Jason to use his Third Monkey Media to come up with a good logo for us, and he came back with this. Now, this looks amazing. It's great. It's awesome. It's red, white, and blue. We're America. This is all good. I brought up the fact that we might want to be able to consider global community coaching workshop. Okay, so maybe we should encompass a globe, because if we embrace the United States so much that it may alienate people from other countries. So while I like this, I want to keep some of those other options open and maybe move this to a more global theme. We want to be able to help businesses, people starting businesses all over the world. We don't want to just limit ourselves to just the United States, even though, we're both proud Americans and we bleed red, white, and blue anyways. But having that vision of being able to step out of our own comfort zone and our own local area and be able to help people all around the world is something I would like to consider doing. Yeah. So great job, Jason. Hopefully we'll have a world encompass one, but you're seeing it along the way. We got this together. We threw it together. He made this. We're going to use this and we can change it later. Okay. Don't spend days, weeks, months, years coming up with the perfect logo. Get something to a media company, get something to a professional, have them hit you back with something, make a couple changes to it, and just start using something. Then you can have your brainstorm and you can change it later if you like. Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, that was just a perfect example of sometimes we think too small. Thinking about the globe. I mean, man, wow. Who would ever think like that? It really, I don't really have the words for it, but that's something that I've noticed here recently is all of my hopes and dreams and everything. I thought too small. I never thought about, servicing the whole world, or us doing something that helps somebody in China start a business or something like that. But yeah, don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. There's businesses being started up all over the world, and they may not have the exact same rules that we have here, but a lot of the same concepts are going to apply. You're going to have to register with some organization. You're going to have to pay taxes to some organization. You're going to have to rules and things that you're going to have to follow through some form of authority. Those basic building blocks are going to apply just about everywhere. So we are coming up on the hour. If you have a smartphone or a tablet, join the club here. We have we have our community coaching group. And basically what this group does, the meeting that you're watching today is completely free. I want information to get out there and help people. That is my number one passion. And I know it's a huge passion of Jason's, and I know it's a big passion of Hannah's as well. But what we want to do is we want to bring people into this community. We hope you've enjoyed the beginner's workshop for this particular one. This is free to enjoy. If you found the information interesting and useful and you want to pay it forward to support the community coaching workshop program, you can join the Facebook group. There's zero pressure to join. You don't have to, but I can tell you that if you like the information here, what this is going to give you is it's going to give you one-on-one access to Jason and myself. Okay. Anyone who donates $24.99 a month or $249 for the year will be added to a 24/7 access to Jason and myself to ask questions, get answers in real time. This is recording of the classes are going to be available there. Everything that we do business wise is going to be put in that community, in that group. So I'm going to leave this up for just another second. Pull your phone out and scan that. Request to join right now if you haven't joined already, if you think that would work for you. And just know, if you have a rough month or you're just getting started, I don't look at the numbers and say, oh, well, we've got 47 people in this class. 47 people didn't make donations this month. I know that people will come on hard times, and we're not going to kick you out and alienate you if you can't make your payment. Okay. This is just a nice way to pay it forward, because Jason and I put a lot of time and effort into this. I've got at least 8 hours of my time, an entire day dedicated to building this. I was up till midnight last night putting this thing together for everybody. Okay. So everybody, really, that's what we do. We pay it forward and we try and help people out. And I try not to ask for anything, but the donations really do help. Okay. Here's what the page looks like. This is what you're going to be applying to. And you can see we do have 47 members there. So there's a lot of other people who are going to be able to help you. And Jason and myself will be able to help lead that conversation. But you can post a question anytime, any day, anywhere, and we will get back to you. If you tag me or Jason in a post, we will go ahead and help you. Donations are very much appreciated. I will personally offer 3 one-on-one coaching sessions with any yearly donations made. Last month, we were a little bit behind and we didn't have time to do a request. So just to throw that out there, this is why money and giving to this program is not my number one concern. I like it when it happens. It does help out so that we can just roll it right back over and reinvest it into building more classes for you guys. Jason and I pour our time and passion into these programs and thrive off seeing people succeed. It's a lot of time and effort. However, seeing good people make it is our passion. Do you have anything to add to that, Jason?
No, definitely. Yeah, I love seeing people be successful. I think I read a quote a few days ago. It says, "You can't beat me because I want to see you win too." And that's definitely how I feel. Here lately, I smile more by seeing one of my coaching clients succeed than I do by succeeding myself. It's
Right.
kind of neat,
Oh, yeah. So for those that do want to donate and pay it forward, and if you did find some of this information useful, you can scan this QR code here. This one goes directly to PayPal. I will post these in the group too if you don't have time to do it right now. But this is going to be one of them. We also have a Venmo account as well. I'll put that up in just a second. I'll leave this up for a minute. So if you want to take your phone out and scan that, make a donation, join the page. We're going to be happy to help you out. And really, I mean, I almost get excited when somebody posts in that group and I'm like, what do they have? What question do they have? How can I help them out? And I think you do the same, Jason.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So here's the Venmo account. If you guys do Venmo, that works as well. I'm going to leave this up for just a second. And let's go ahead and open up the microphones. Let's take some questions. Do you have any questions for myself and Jason? Open mic, totally pressure-free, coaching session right here. If you have questions about business, let's hear it. Let's help you. Go ahead and unmute those mics and let us know what we can do to help you.
Okay, I'm reading Profit First. Wayne, that you recommended. I have a lot of the accounts already set up where we had talked earlier. What's the next book should I read?
The next book that I would recommend, and I'll put this in the coaching group over there, is what was it? It's how to start a business made easy. Let me find it real quick. I have this in my library. But the way he explains how to build a business, and my favorite metaphor that he uses is building a business is like an airplane flying. Okay. Your money is your cash, is your fuel. Your advertising is the wings, and the your personnel is the body. If you have too much overhead and weight on the body of the plane, you're going to run out of fuel and crash. If you don't have enough capital and money, you're going to crash. If your wings are too small to carry the body, you're going to crash. So it really put a really good metaphor in my head about that. I think it's called Business Made Easy. A Business Made Simple by Donald Miller. I'm going to put that in the chat box right here. All
Now,
right. Go ahead.
do you have you was talking about the hang tags on doors. Do you have anything that you've already made up?
I don't have anything that I've made up right now. I'm not sure I'm going to do things that hang on doors, like a door hanger, like a flyer. What I was referring to is what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going to businesses themselves and asking if they would like a free door health inspection. When I do that free door health inspection, I'm going to have my push-pull stickers, my directional indication stickers that have my company name on them, or my QR code or my logo or something on there for that. And when I do the inspection, I'm going to look at the door closer, I'm going to look at the hinges, I'm going to look at the door, I'm going to look at the frame and make sure that everything's working properly. Is it sealing properly? Is the door closer blown out? Are there any other problems with this? Are the cylinders really loose? Are they going to have a problem coming up pretty soon? And offer them that preventative maintenance. So then I'll fill out a piece of paper that checks all those boxes off, and I'll put my stickers on the door. What I'm doing is I'm creating an opportunity to put my stickers on the door. When my stickers are on the door and they're having a problem in the future, they're going to be staring directly at the solution. Then when I bring that form to them and I say, well, here's what we found out with your door. It's in really good health. Your door closer looks really good, not leaking oil. I mean, you get these same spiels when you take your car in for an oil change or your van, right? They tell you, we checked your brakes, we checked your lights, we checked your air filter, all of these different things. And if one of those things needs to happen or be changed, they offer that service to you. I'm taking that same concept of when I get my oil changed and that list that they give me and applying it to the locksmith industry and doors. And I'm using that to generate more work. Now we've got a face-to-face communication with the manager. Now we've got rapport built up. Now I've got my stickers on the door. So when they do have a problem, even if they don't choose to fix one right now, they'll be able to call me up in the future. It's also signaling to my competition, I am everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that make sense, Danny?
Yes.
All right.
Because I do the knocking on the doors and that, but I haven't ever thought about doing the door, looking at, doing the health inspection, door health inspections. I was not door knocking, introduce myself, handing out business cards and that, but that's a good tool because I have the stickers that you put on the doors with my name and everything on there.
Yeah.
Open and close stickers.
Yep, the push-pull stickers. And then when they ask me, well, why is there a sticker on my door? I actually address it first. And I say, look, you didn't have directional indication stickers on your door. I put them on there for you so that now people know which way the door opens, push or pull. Once you address it, like if you just go in there and slap a sticker on there, they might get a little weird about that and they might want you to take that off. If I pre-frame it and I say, look, here's the reason why this is such a good thing for you to have on your door, and I'm giving this to you as a free gift, if you will. I'm doing you the favor by putting my sticker on your door. It pre-frames it in a whole different context. And I've done this several different ways. I've just slapped stickers on there. Pretty soon you get people saying, hey, can you take that off? Or why did you put that on there? All of these different questions. If you cut it off at the head and address it first and you pre-frame it as this is a good gift I'm giving you and you're getting something for this to help your customers, all of a sudden they love it.
That's awesome. Wayne, do you have a ADA force gauge that you use?
Yeah, fish scale.
Same thing, same thing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I bought one years ago from IDN, the first one, and they said that I was the first one in Nashville that has ever bought one of those. And you know, I've bought several since then. But man, that's a great selling tool right there.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause you can show them, you know, exactly what needs to be fixed.
And I would like to clarify that is commercial doors only. I'm not
Right,
doing this
right.
on residential doors. Just so you know, Danny, I'm doing it only on commercial doors. And that right there, what Jason just said, if you're not in compliance, Colorado's 5 pounds of pressure. Okay, 5 pounds of pressure to open up that door. Most states it's 15, but for some reason, Colorado and California have to just do things differently. But yeah, between 5 and 15. And then if that door's slamming and that door closer is blown out, you can tell them the first thing that I do when I'm doing my health inspection is I say, okay, well, look at this door closer. You can see the oil leaking down. You can see that that's broken. That's giving them a visual so that they could see there's a problem. And I'll tell them, look, your door is slamming shut. Can you imagine if a little kid or somebody left their hand right there and that door slammed on them? Did you know that that could possibly lead to a lawsuit and liability? I can fix this and alleviate that liability for you for around $148. Would you like me to go ahead and replace your door closer today? And yeah, what do you want? A $148 bill today? Or do you want a $10,000 lawsuit for chopping some kid's finger off later? You know, it's no brainer. And it's all in how you frame it and how you bring it to them. If you start attacking the customer like, hey, you know, you're not taking care of your doors. This thing is a mess. I don't even know how you can do business like this. Don't do that at all. You're gonna start a standoff, and they're gonna get very defensive. If you lay everything out as I'm bringing this to you as a gift, I'm offering the door inspection for free. I'm giving you my directional indicators for free. I'm offering my help whenever you need it, and I'm trying to help prevent you from getting sued and prevent you from. I'm reducing your liability. I'm your friend. I'm helping you. All of a sudden it's do the hinges. You got a bad hinge job, grab that door and shake that door. And when they see it wobbling around and it's about to fall off on somebody, you can tell them, hey, $650, I can fix this for you. We'll do a lifetime continuous hinge and you won't have to worry about it again. Those are the selling tactics that you need to be able to really drive it home and offer your services, not force them on somebody.
So what was that, that gauge or whatever for the door closure?
It's a force gauge. It's a little bit bigger than a fat pencil, and basically it's got a rubber washer on it. And when you push in on the door, it moves the rubber washer to one of the numbers on the gauge. So it basically shows how much force is used to open the door. And like Wayne said, you can also use a fish scale.
Just pull on it.
Yeah, just pull on it. Yep. They sell them CRL Lawrence or something like that, I believe.
CL Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah, they sell them there. Yep.
They're online. I'll do that too. I'll post a link to one of those gauges as well. And you just stick it in your pocket like a pen.
Yeah.
I carry it around with me everywhere, and then boom. So a lot of people don't know. Did you know that you have to have 5 pounds of pressure to open up your door, or 15 pounds, or whatever it is? A lot of times those door closers are cranked down to 30 pounds of pressure, and they're knocking old ladies over and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
The customer has no idea that they have liability with that if somebody gets hurt. So
when you move to the United States, that'll be much better.
I'm sorry, what is that, Paul? Whoever was talking, go ahead and say that one more time, please. I could barely hear you.
If that was me, it was a mistake. I thought my mic was muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're unmuted. Does anybody else have any questions or have anything to say?
So yeah, other than business cards, websites, Google, Yelp, social media, that type of thing, What other advertising do you guys do?
Really, it's mostly Google guaranteed, Google ads, Facebook ads. Some things you can do for free are, if you have your Google account, just do a quick little interview of yourself and turn the camera on your phone on and say, hey, I'm, Randy with Randy's Locksmith in, Georgia or wherever you're at, and say, hey, we offer storefront servicing. We fix door closers. And then you make your video title Locksmith in, and then your city and state right there. And then whatever you're doing, door closers, locksmith, rekey, car unlocks, substitute whatever name you want in there, and make about 10 or 15 of these different videos, and they'll actually start showing up in first page Google search results. You can take that same video, maximize it, upload it to Facebook, and turn it into an ad on Facebook. I'm getting a ton of calls from Facebook. People are on there. So any content that you can possibly get named with your city and state and locksmith is free advertising that you can do. You can then boost that post and you can make it paid advertising as well. So it's two birds with one stone. That's about it though. I mean, really, I'm out of the phone books. I don't really advertise anywhere else except for online social media, and then boots on the ground, knocking on doors.
That's pretty much what we do. We get out and just meet people. I talk to people in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, when you're in
People just
line,
see
why not? Just say hi.
People just
Hey,
see
how
the
are you?
shirt. People just see the shirt and like you had, a QR code on your van. I'll get people that call me in traffic and they're like, hey, I'm right behind you. I got a safe I can't open, or something else. And right there, just driving around, you'll get business. So those are all really, really good points.
Now this one I kind of shared with Wayne some time ago. I guess my wife says I'm a bit eccentric. I carry around $2 bills with me. It's something nobody else uses them. They're people think that they don't print them anymore, but my bank will get them for me. So for several years, I've been carrying around $2 bills, hand them out all the time. Anytime we go to a restaurant, if I see somebody with small children, I don't care if they're going nuts or what. I go up and I hand a couple $2 bills to the mother and a couple of my business cards. And I'm like, hey, look, your kids are well behaved. They should be rewarded. You tell that to somebody's mother, they're gonna remember you.
Absolutely.
Well, crazy thing is I started getting some feedback on that, some response. This one guy, he called me to rekey his house. Well, come to find out, his brother-in-law was a locksmith down in Nashville. But, he called me over to Hendersonville to rekey his house. His wife said, hey, you've got to use Jason with Empire. He's the one that, said our kids were well behaved. And, something as small as a damn $2 bill, that brought me a $300 job. Now, it didn't pay off the next day. I mean, that was like 3 years later,
But it still paid off.
Yes. That man has kept my business card in his wallet for 3 years, knowing his brother-in-law was a locksmith. Just because I said his kids were good, stuff like that, they'll remember you. And it doesn't cost much.
Yeah. And having unique business cards. You've made me some oval business cards. We're working on some round ones. Just standing out, a $2 bill, you don't see that every day. People notice what stands out, what's different. That's the way our brain is wired since, the dawn of time. We notice differences in things. That's how we distinguish things. So we're coming up on an hour here. Do we have any other questions, comments, concerns? There's no stupid questions. We're more than happy. You have Jason and my full attention. Please ask anything that you would like to, and then we'll wrap this up, and hopefully we'll have more people join that group. If you can make the donations, great. We just take that, and it just feeds the machine, and we just keep rolling it right back over into creating more content.
I just want to take a second, Wayne, to thank you for this class. All the information that you are posting and sharing over here, that's really great. You will save a lot of people time with this presentation, and this is just part 2. I need to catch up on the first one, though.
Yeah, I'll post those over there. And thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. This is what we want. I don't want people to have the same bumps in the road that I had. I want you to have a smoother road to success, so that you can hit your goals, and then you can fly like a rocket. You know, you won't get drugged down by these things that caught up myself and Jason and other people. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
When you do hit those road bumps, feel free to call us, because we've been there.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I've had businesses fail, you know, hell, it's part of life. So if something's not going right, hey, you know, pick up the phone, call us, or, you know, go on Facebook, send us a message or whatever, because we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, 7 days into buying the business from my dad, the rear end goes out on the truck, you know, so here I am dead in the water. So, you know, we've definitely been through it.
Yes.
So if you're having a bad day, if you feel like the world's against you, well, you know, reach out to us.
That's
we've
what
been
we're
there.
here for. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we're here for. We've been there. I've had no clue. I've looked at my bank account, and there's $500 in there, and I know that I got $5,000 worth of bills, and that I don't know what I'm going to do the next day. That has happened to me. It's happened to me more than once. And I've just got the mental toughness. You know, if you're going to start working out, and you're going to start working out a bicep, what do? You have to push against massive resistance in order to build that muscle. Your mind works the same way. You have to be able to have that mindset that I will do whatever it takes, no matter what. I'll take the lumps, and we'll just keep progressing on. And you just got to have that little bit of faith that something's going to come through. You're going to push something through. Something will happen, and that you will get to that next stage.
Yeah.
So we've been there. We're more than happy. Post something in that Facebook group, tag Jason or myself or both of us, and we will get there, and we will help you out with whatever it is that you need help with. All righty. I'll leave the mics open for another minute. Last minute here. Just go ahead, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please voice them now.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever used a marketing company, I guess you could say, to help out with posting in Google, Facebook, things like that for you, or have you always done it on your own?
I do most of it on my own, but I do use a guy, Josh Pothers with Toronto WebWorks. He's the one that builds all my websites, and he comes up with funny little things to post. So he's a content generator, and he can run my pages. If you're not comfortable with it, I would recommend that you do hire a company that can take care of your social media work. If you're just not up to speed, or you're just not comfortable with it, that's perfectly fine. Keep in mind that once you give that company the login passwords and everything, they're going to own that, and they can make you or they can break you at that point. Make sure you do your research and hire a reputable company. I will actually post in the group, if you got a chance to scan this QR code right here. I'll post in the group Josh's contact information. I trust him with my life. I trust him with everything that I have. He's built all of my pages. He actually manages some of my social media accounts from time to time, and he comes up with great content. And he's a good person or candidate for that. I would really say the biggest thing is make sure you do your research and you trust that person 1000%. I would almost rather hire or get like a family member, if you have a younger kid or nephew, niece, or somebody close to the family, somebody you really trust, help you set up those accounts. Does that answer your question?
I think so. It's just there's some companies that they keep contacting us, saying that they can push up your your rating in Google,
No,
and
ignore
we
all
don't
of
know
those.
how much to trust them, or if it really is true, if they really help or they don't. You
Mhm.
know, it's kind of the question of, are you dishing out $300-400 to someone a month for something that you could do on your own?
I know exactly
Um,
what you're asking now. If they're, here's my rule. If they're contacting you, they automatically go into my no folder. Okay. There's a
okay,
lot of scams, and they want to set up your Google listing, which is free for you to do, by the way. And this is what we're going to be covering next month. I'm going to be showing you how to set up your Google account, how to set up your Facebook account. We'll see how much content that takes up, maybe Instagram in there, but we're going to be going over how to set up those accounts next month. So if you're interested in following that, make sure you join us next month. But
okay,
my rule of thumb is if they're contacting you, that's an absolute no. That's a big scam. I do not want to have anybody to deal with it. When I want to do business with
okay,
somebody, I'll do my research and I'll seek them out. Does that answer your
okay.
question better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry if
Thank
I
you.
didn't understand exactly what you were asking there, but no, I understand. Yeah, we get those calls all the time too. Hey, we're Google. They'll actually claim to be Google, and they'll say,
Yeah,
your
they're
listing isn't listed. I'm like, I teach the social media classes for Aloha and a lot of the associations. Like, this is what I do. I've written articles on it. There's no way that I'm not listed right now. So yeah, those are
right.
total scams.
Okay.
Where are you based out of?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island? And is it
Mhm.
a locksmith company?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool. Okay. Are you
Yeah.
guys just starting up?
So we've been around, but we're trying to kind of ramp things up to leave our other jobs. Um,
Gotcha.
so
You want to go
it's where
all
we're
in.
just trying to, yes, we're trying to go all in and make sure that we cover all our bases, but we also know that there's quite a bit of competition up here.
Yeah.
So that's where we're just trying to make sure that we come out higher up in the listings and the rankings and kind of get our name out there before they call, the next one 5 blocks down.
Absolutely.
So
No,
that's all.
that's perfect. No, that's perfect. And are you is your responsibility is like a husband-wife team? Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yep, mom and pop shop.
Okay, cool. Good.
So he's the one with the 20 plus years locksmith experience, but has always worked for someone else.
Yeah.
We were working for another locksmith that I was running their shop. And it just got to the point that we're running someone else's business. So why are we running someone else's business?
To give them all the money. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's where
congratulations.
we're trying to step
Yeah.
out, but it's just kind of fighting with I mean at least half a dozen other local locksmiths in our area, and it's a small state.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I've probably got about 5 or 6 different competitors. The first thing you need to do is get your business listed on Google,
Yep.
and get your Google guaranteed. You can also purchase ads. I focus almost all of my advertising money in Google guaranteed and Google ads. That's where my
Okay.
advertising money goes. So, and that's exactly what we're going to be covering next month is how to set up your
Okay.
Google accounts and how to set up all this stuff. Being a member of Facebook pages, buy, sell, trade pages, and getting
Hmm.
recommendations. That Facebook is the
Yeah.
new word of mouth. That if you do good for your customers, they will when somebody posts on a buy, sell, trade page or a local community page, hey, I locked my keys in my car. Who do I call? I get like 10 people that tag me over and over and over again, and I don't pay for any of it.
Right.
So
Right.
that's awesome. Well, I just want to congratulate you both on your ability to break that fear and kind of start out on your own. It is scary, I know, trust me,
Oh, it is.
but it's worth
It
it.
is.
The rewards are worth it. The rewards are worth it. And I'm so glad that you're a part of this team and you're who we're building this for. It's tailor-made for people like you. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for helping us out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any other questions or comments or concerns while you got us here?
No, I think for now that's the big part, but it's been a help because we're right in the middle of we just finished signing up with the Secretary of State. So we're all in the middle of that big process. So
All right.
we're right there.
You're well on your way. Well, this was tailor-made for you. That's great. Awesome. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
I would
Thank you.
strongly suggest keeping an open mind, and don't just think of yourself as a locksmith. You know, a lot of times locksmiths limit themselves to just being a locksmith. You know, Wayne had mentioned the Facebook groups, the buy, sell, trade groups, stuff like that. You know, start your own group. Start your own group in your town. That's something that I've started several groups in several cities that we cover. And, you know, several of my groups have a couple thousand members in them. And I'm pretty much the only locksmith in the group. You know, if you start your own buy, sell, and trade group in your town, then, well, heck, everybody's going to think of you. Just because you're a locksmith, that's not going to keep you from starting up a group or something like that. Just kind of think outside the box and look at stuff like that. You know, different ways to get out in the community and meet people.
And if you have one of those local community groups, like we've got several for roads and weather, just buy sell trade pages, just local community event pages, make friends with moderators and see if there's an affordable way to advertise with that. I mean, literally, there's 40,000, 50,000 people in one of the local groups, and I can pay them like $300 or $400 and get a banner ad up for 3 months. I mean, my goodness, you cannot, that's huge. That's huge. And then 40,000 people, you cut it in half, 20,000 people sitting there staring at your ad. That's an excellent way to start building a reputation, building a brand. And the online community is the new word of mouth. Trust me on that.
Yep.
All righty. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I'll leave the mics open for just a minute here, and we're happy to
Are you guys members of chambers of commerce at all?
Yes. Jason, did you do yours?
I am. I don't go as much as I need to. I really feel bad about that. But yeah, we're definitely members of the chamber.
I try and cycle it. I'll be on, like, when you're first starting up, that's a great place to go. I found that after 6 months, it was the same 20 people. And so I decided to pull out of that and then wait a year or two and then jump back in. And all of a sudden there's 15 new people there. So then I'll go for 3 or 6 months and then I'll pull back out and then I'll join up again. I find doing it every single month, like they have monthly lunch meetings and stuff, and you see the same, 15, 20 faces, it gets a little old and repetitive. But bouncing in and out of it, or if you're just starting up, Chamber of Commerce is absolutely a huge tip for sure.
Now, Randy, you're a locksmith, right?
I'm starting up.
Okay.
I've
Cool.
currently got a job. I'm fixing to get laid off here on the 17th.
Okay.
And I've been working on getting into this for a little while now. So,
Well, the thing that you'll find about locksmithing in the Chamber of Commerce is nobody knows what a locksmith does, but a lot of them are totally mesmerized by it.
yeah, it's like a magician.
Yeah. Well, you really want to push that. Use that as your advantage.
Sure.
When I go to the chamber, I don't go just as, a member. I go there to speak. I don't want to just go to a luncheon. I want them to invite me to speak to the group.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you want to position yourself. You want them to see you as the industry expert and, call you to speak about stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Excellent point. We did that as well, where each meeting somebody would get to do a presentation and it rotated.
Mhm.
So I bring in, I wanted to be the showstopper. Everybody's usually just talk about this and that. I brought in visual aids. I brought in locks. I let people touch it. People got into it. They can take stuff apart, put it back together, and they loved it. And I got a tremendous amount of business from that. And like Jason said, you don't just want to be another warm body in a seat. You want to be your community's go-to person for that position as a leader in the community, not just another locksmith. I am the locksmith, not just another one. And that personal one-on-one communication is invaluable. I mean, it's just, you can't buy that kind of rapport, respect, and just overall interaction.
Yeah.
Excellent point, Jason. Thank you. Randy, does that answer your question pretty well?
It does. Thank you.
Awesome. And congratulations on you, sir, for,
Yeah.
seeing the writing on the wall and taking some action and standing up for yourself. That's going to pay out dividends in the future. And congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we hope to see you guys over in the groups. If there's any other questions, go ahead and ask them now. We're coming up on about an hour and a half. I like to keep these things about an hour, hour and a half, under 2 hours for sure, because it's Saturday and everybody has a lot of other stuff to go do. I want to make these nice little bite-sized nuggets for everybody. The recording will be up as soon as I upload it, and then you can review this if you need it. Send it to your friends. You got a buddy who's trying to start a business, send it to them as well. Okay, we're here to help people. The money comes last. I want to make sure that we deliver, we provide the value. You're actually getting it. It's working. It's providing results for you. And then if you can pay it forward, go ahead and do so. Last call for questions. All righty. Enjoy your Saturday, and thanks for joining us. We'll see everybody next weekend.
Thank
or
you.
next month. Thanks. Have a great day.